Good morning, everybody. This is Carla, and you have reached my FlossTube channel, Carla Being Crafty, where I talk about cross stitch mostly, but also other crafts and a little bit of life thrown in. Welcome to my channel. Today is Sunday, September 8th, and this is my 11th episode. So if this is the first time that you're coming by, welcome very much. I hope that you enjoy yourself. And if you are a returning viewer, then welcome back. I'm so happy that you're here again to share this little bit of time with me. So without further ado, I hate that phrase. Everybody always says it, and I always hate it when I hear it, and here I am saying it. But let's get started. My channel is at 400, you guys. Actually, it was 401 as of last night. That is just so thrilling. Okay, I can't see a thing because there's fingerprints all over my glasses. Okay, better. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys so much for subscribing. If you are not subscribed yet and you enjoy the content that I put out, then please do hit the subscribe button. I am planning some sort of giveaway, hopefully a really nice one, when I hit 500. I don't think that's going to be, super soon. But yeah, I do want to, kind of give back to the subscribers when I hit that 500 mark. 99 to go. So if you know anybody that watches FlossTube that possibly hasn't started watching me yet, then tell them, and hopefully we can grow this little channel quicker rather than slower. Okay, excuse me. As always, I like to give a few shout outs in my video, and I do try and give shout outs to kind of smaller channels. So I am coming across channels every week from things that other FlossTubers say, and just from scrolling through. And so I've come across a lot of people that are established channels that I just didn't know about. And but what I try and do in excuse me, my episodes is to maybe shout out people that maybe aren't quite as big. I mean, I'm sure I will mention some of the bigger channels, but just because I know what it's like to start out and not have a huge subscriber base, and I'd like to encourage people to seek out the smaller channels and help them grow. So anyway, a couple of the channels that I have been watching and in the last couple weeks that I've been enjoying. First one is Artist Designs, Amanda May. This woman is got the most sparkling personality. I mean, she is just, you cannot help but smile when you watch her, because she's just so thrilled with life and with cross stitch and with art. And she's a designer. She's the one who designed the boobies that Michelle Bendy Stitchy is doing, if you've been watching her channel. She also designed the logbook that I bought months ago, and I had no idea. I got it off of Facebook, and and it's a different one than a lot of people are showing. And I did show it a couple episodes back, but it's a really, really nice cross-stitch logbook that I got on, as I said, Amazon. And I knew it was designed by Artist Designs. I didn't even think about that, but it was Amanda May who designed it. So she is an artist designer and has a channel that I think is a fairly new channel. So she's really fun to watch. I started watching Janet Jabar. She just had her very first video out last week, and so she's brand new, and she looks really like she's gonna have a great channel. So she only has one out, so go ahead and watch that. Oops, my air conditioning is going off. I guess I am just not very prepared this morning. Excuse me. And then the last one that I started watching, I heard about her from a couple different channels, and the channel name is The Silent Stitcher, and her real name is escaping me, but she is a deaf stitcher, and her first several videos she did just in sign language, which I took several sign language classes when I was in college. I did go to college for a while for audiology, speech therapy, and audiology. So I did take several sign language courses. I can't read sign language, but now her last couple of videos, she actually is working with somebody who is doing a voiceover for her. So she's still signing everything that she does, but excuse me, but she has a voiceover. So, you know, if you don't read sign language, you can obviously hear her voiceover. If you heard anybody mention about StitchCon, she was the deaf stitcher that they got interpreters for. So yeah, so she did go to StitchCon last year, or this year, and but her channel is really fun to watch. I mean, it's not any different than any other channel, except that she's signing, and she does a lot. She really likes Halloween type stitches, and so she's really fun to watch. It's interesting because after I watched her, I went back and watched my last video with the closed caption on, because I wanted to see how well that works and if my channel would be accessible to people who cannot hear. It was, for the most part, pretty good. So I was worried about if I talk too fast or I don't talk clear enough, because I know I do tend to talk fast. It's always been an issue when I was doing theater, is that I needed to slow down. And I know that when I start thinking, then sometimes I moosh my words together. But for the most part, the closed captioning caught everything that I was saying, for the most part. There were certain words, especially stitching words that we used, that were not caught. FlossTube was something that the closed captioning did not know what I was saying. It came out as philosophy one time, and something else really funny. Talking about Sal, like a long dog Sal, that I'm participating in this month. That came out as salad one time, long dog salad. And sow, it came out as sow a lot, like a female pig. But so if you are watching this on closed captioning, I am saying Sal, S-A-L, not sow, S-O-W. I also realized watching the closed captioning that I say a lot, and I say you know a lot, which don't bother me as much when I'm listening back to my videos, but did bother me a lot when I was reading it. So I apologize for that. Those are just tics that I have when I'm trying to think of what I'm going to say next. So please accept my foibles and failings when I do these videos, and you know, as I keep doing them, hopefully my words will come a little bit easier to me. Anyway, so fully finished objects. That's the first thing that I want to show you guys, because I have one that I am very proud of, and I'm sure you can guess. Ta-da! I framed my Red Kitten by myself. So this was a frame and a mat that I got from Kohls. I'm trying to lean back so you can get the whole effect. Excuse me. And I went on to FlossTube and I did a search for lacing techniques and finishing framing. And I ended up using Teresa, the kitten stitcher. She had a video that I think was about a year old on how she framed things. She stretched and framed things with stainless steel pins in the side of foam board. And that seemed like the best option for me. I decided to try and do that. I am not concerned about rust with using pins. First of all, I don't live someplace that's got you know, that kind of moisture issue. But second of all, I don't have kids. I don't think that my pieces are gonna be archived, you know, for generations or anything like that. I'm just framing it for my own personal use. And I liked the pin method. It made sense to me, and I think I did a really good job. I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. Once I did it and got it in there, I realized that she is touching the mat at the very top and very bottom. But I sent the picture to my mom and to my best friend, and both of them were like, I wouldn't have even noticed it if you hadn't mentioned it. You know, I guess I could try and get a mat that's a little bit smaller, but it doesn't really bother me. I think it looks okay this way. It does, you know, prove that I got it centered, and because it's touching exactly the very, very top of the stitches and the very bottom of the bottom stitches. I used, as I said, I used a foam board, a piece of foam board that I cut. The frame came with, there were like 2 pieces of cardboard, so I used those as the template. So I cut out the foam board, and then I had a piece of sticky board. So I used the sticky board on top of the foam board, and the sticky board, I put a thin layer of batting on that. So the fabric is not touching sticky board. There's a thin piece of batting under it. And then I used the method that Teresa showed to use the stainless steel pins to pin it all the way around into the foam of the foam core of the foam board. And then I just put it in the frame. So obviously it does have glass because it's a purchased frame. And yeah, I don't know where I come down on that debate between glass, no glass. I'm using glass because it's here. If I got a frame like at a thrift store or something like that, I wouldn't worry about getting glass. But I really am happy how this came out. I'm going to put it, if you see right here, there's the picture, the diamond painting. Okay. Diamond painting on my dog Frodo. Underneath that, there's kind of a mass market floral elephant thing that I got because I do collect elephants. I think I'm going to move that over into the kitchen, and then this will go under Frodo, so you will be able to see it in all my videos. So, so that is my major fully finished object. I framed it yesterday, and I am very happy with how it came out. So, my first framing, I don't have the funds to do custom framing. I mean, I guess if I had something that I really wanted to get custom framed, I could save up for it or something, but that's just, it's not something that's going to be a very typical thing. So I figured I would teach myself to do framing at least a little bit, and for the things that I want to frame, then I will try and do it myself. And I'm really happy with how that came out. So, oh, I also yesterday, well, I made more project bags. Last week I showed you these two. I showed you the flamingos and then the cats. That was, I think, in my video on Sunday. So on Monday, because it was Labor Day and I had Monday off, I made 2 more bag sets. I made this lemon lime one. I love this fabric, and I'm not going to show you the little pouches until I show you my whips, because I am using these now. And then I made another set, which actually I sent to a friend as sort of a thank you, I appreciate you gift on FlossTube, and you'll see it in hers, but anyway. But then yesterday I finished and I made the 2 that I had cut out the fabric for last weekend. So these 2 sets are this pink black and white kittens set, and then the lining is just this white dot fabric, and then this is my floss bag and my notions pouch. And I'll show you when I show my whips how well or not well these work. I think they're working pretty well, actually. So I did that one, and then of course this is like my favorite, is the floofy cats. I know a lot of people have shown this fabric in other project bags. There's another version where I think the background is like a turquoise, and then the pumpkins are kind of like this gray color. But I really liked the one with the orange pumpkins. So, and these floofy cats are just so cute. And the inside fabric is kind of this Halloween color splatter print. So that's what I use to do the notions pouches. And then the cats are inside it. But yeah, this is just the cutest fabric. And so, and then I have quite a bit more fabric, enough to make probably I don't know, 8, 10 more project bags. So I mean, I think that is something that I want to continue to do. I'm going to try and cut out some more fabric maybe today. I don't have the fusible fleece. It's on its way. I'll have that on Tuesday. But I can cut out the rest of the pieces and then try, do the sewing like maybe on Saturday mornings or one of the weekend mornings. Try and do a couple bags, 1 or 2 bags. I kind of like, on top of just wanting the project bags and enjoying making them, I want to keep sewing just to practice the sewing. See if it gets easier, it gets harder. Sometimes it's like when you do things, it gets harder first and then it gets easier. I don't know. The very first bag I made worked out perfectly. That was the flamingo one. And then the second one I was too tired, and that one is a little bit more difficult. And I don't know. This weekend when I did them yesterday, I felt like I went faster. So that was easier. I felt more like I knew what I was doing. But I've broken like 3 needles, and I don't know why, because they're breaking. Well, I bent 2 and then I actually broke one yesterday, but it broke while I was sewing on one of the it didn't even break like you'd think it would break when it went over the zipper or something. It broke just like doing the top stitching on one of these. And so I don't know if, I've been trying to adjust the stitch length when I was doing something thicker. Then I started making the stitch length longer, because the first couple of bags I didn't do anything. I didn't change anything. So I don't know if I need to adjust something else. It is not a super sophisticated machine I'm using. It's a Singer 3232, which is a little bit above the basic model. I mean, it does things like does buttonholes, 1-step buttonholes and stuff like that. But I'm just using basic straight stitches. So I don't know if I have my tension off. I mean, I did learn how to change out the needle, so that was I didn't seem to have too much problem with that. I learned how to change to the zipper foot making these things, which was like super easy. I thought that was going to be a difficult process, and it's like pop it off, pop it on. So I don't know. At first I thought, well, maybe because I had used an old bobbin on the one where I first bent the needle, and I thought maybe it wasn't the right kind of bobbin, even though it looked exactly the same as the ones that came with the machine. But then I ordered some more bobbins, and I ordered the class 15 that are supposed to go with the machine, and they look different than the ones that came with the machine, and they're Singer bobbins, so I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, I don't know. If you guys have any ideas about why I bent 2 needles and broke 1 in the course of making project bags that are just basically straight stitching, then let me know. I'm not pulling on the fabric. I don't know. But, luckily I have the needles to fix, but I don't know. Okay, so those are my finished things. So I will show you my whips this week. I actually touched a lot of projects. I just worked on my Lion of Judah a little bit last night. So I finished all of this color and then started on the menorah behind him. It's Balger metallic thread. It's really nice. So, and this is going to be such a tiny little guy when I'm done. I did get a frame for it, and I may actually have to stitch more of a border, because I think that it might even be too small for the hole in the frame. I haven't even taken the frame out of the package yet, but Excuse me. But yeah, so if it is, then I'm gonna have extra floss, so I'll just see if I can stitch more of a border. So I put in stitches on both of my my Heids. Now these are both quick stitch, and this brings me, I haven't actually touched my Heids in about a month because I write down every time I do it. This one is called Catnap Fae, and I don't have the picture out, I'm sorry, but you can see the diagonal that I worked on. I had it about up to here, and I did all of this yesterday. I have a the pattern for Randall Spangler Village Bookstore, which I love, and I also have the one for the Rose Trellis Inn if you're familiar with his work. And I don't know if I'm ever gonna start those. These are quick stitches, and they're taking me months and months, and I don't know if I'm up for starting a project that I know at the outset is going to take me 10 or 15 years to do. I just don't know. I feel overwhelmed by that. This is Lavender Roses. Carrie Hawks is the artist. Oh, excuse me. And I finished the diagonal that I was working on. So I got all the way down, and I don't know if you can see, but I kind of like turned the corner. So there's that. Last time I think I showed it to you, it was about, this diagonal was about to here. So I did all of that purple rose. Boy, when you hold it back or in the viewfinder, you can really see the rose coming out. So the next diagonal, I think I'm going to hit pink colors in the nose. But it'll take a while because I have to get through all of that beige stuff at the top. So, and as I said, I'm not hitting these as often as I would like to make the progress go forward. But on Wednesday, I worked on the Lavender Roses actually for a long time. I woke up, I had a really severe headache in the morning, and I decided not to go to work. So I went back to bed, and I slept until almost noon. But when I got up and felt better, I decided to work on that. And I worked on it all afternoon into the evening. So that is how I got that finished. That diagonal finished. Obviously, I'm far from finished on that. Okay. This is that was little stuff in the garden. My little fall piece that this one I should get done fairly quickly so that I can finish it and have it as decor. So I finished this pumpkin and outlined that one and got, you know, like half of the cat done, and I did the moon. This is on that Mint Damask Aida. So it's actually a cotton and rayon blend. It's not 100% cotton. And it's got, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it does have kind of a sheen to the fabric. And the Aida has got a slightly different look to it. The normal Aida, this is 18 count. And I am using flosses mostly that I got on an eBay purchase, kind of in a mystery grab bag from, I think it's Queen City Dyers. And I think that they have an Etsy shop as well. But yeah, I'll list it below in the description for sure. But I think that's what it is. Okay. Oh, my Winnie the Pooh balloon project. Okay. And as I mentioned last week, I cut off the first 20, I said rows, but I guess it really is columns on that side to make sure that it fits. Let me just show you my notions. Whoops. So this is a little notions pouch, and in most of these I'm keeping my scissors. So the little embroidery type scissors fit perfectly in these little bags. I mean, so far all the pairs that I have are fitting just nice, which I like because I was concerned about putting scissors in my projects because they're pointy and I didn't want them to hurt the fabric, so I would make sure that like they were between the pattern and the fabric and stuff like that, but now I don't need to worry about it. And then this little pouch holds the flosses really nicely. Now I'm starting to mostly put my flosses on like thread drops or something on a ring. And even with more, I mean, this is only 3 colors, so of course it fits really well, but even with more, I found that that they fold up really nice and fit in these little pouches pretty well. And they're coming out of the pouch, you know, less tangled than when I was just, you know, sticking them in the big plastic pouch to roll around. So they're staying a little bit more contained in these. And, oh, and all of that talking I still didn't show you. Okay. So that's how far I've gotten. This is the center of the balloon. Sorry. This is the center of the balloon. So the string of the balloon comes down from there. So the balloon's probably going to go out to about here. And then I just put in I used 1 thread of the blue because I was curious how it was going to look. So this is such a big project. I mean, it's not difficult by any means. Oh, and there's so many mistakes already in here, counting mistakes, and I just figured it didn't matter. I don't like pulling out mistakes if it's not completely necessary, and on this project it wasn't necessary to take them out. Okay, this is my long dog sampler that I'm doing for the Long Dog Sal with Carolyn Zook, and there's a bunch of people that I know that are doing this. I don't have the color picture because since I transferred everything, I put that away, but it's Froth and Bubble. I know Rolodex Stitcher, Carla in Japan is doing this, as well as I am, and she had to have her wisdom teeth out this week, you guys, so go say hope you feel better, because I'm sure she's not having a wonderful weekend dealing with that. So that's how far I got on that. Not very far, but I'm already being able to see how the GAST threads have, especially this pink one, has a really nice variegation to it. Now this is it's 14 count Aida that I got. I think I got it on Amazon, and it's super stiff. It's starched, and I mean they actually advertise it that way, is that you don't need to use a hoop, and which I still am. It's really difficult to get in the hoop because this fabric is so stiff, and I'm not sure how I'm liking stitching on it, which bums me out because I really like this project and I don't want to hate stitch on the fabric, but I'm hoping it'll loosen up as I work with it. It's actually hard to get the needle through the holes. I mean, it's 14 count, and I'm using a 26 needle, which is even a smaller needle than you're necessarily supposed to use on 14 count, because I think I've heard that you should use 24. But I mean, the 26 is even hard to get through because I guess because there's so much starch in it, the holes are really tight. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to get used to working with that one. Let's just put it that way. Then my last project that I worked on this week is the In This House We Do Geek project that I am doing for my brother. And this will show you a little bit more. Again, these are the internal ones. cute fabric. This is what I used for the project bag that I did for Erin, so that I mailed out. So this floss bag, there's more floss, so it's a lot fuller, as you can see, but I still think it fits fine. You know, I have it kind of folded around. I have the floss on floss drops, and I do have to kind of shove it in there a little bit, and it gets a little bulgy, but I still think it works. So I'm happy with these little bags that I made. I really like them. They make me happy when I pull them out to stitch. So let's see. Okay, let me. So I finished this line since the last time you saw it, the In a Galaxy Far, Far Away. I think last time I showed you guys it said In a Galaxy Far, or Fa. And then all of this is new. Well, actually I think I'd started the green a little bit, but I did more on the green, and then I started on the gold and the yellow, the yellowy orange color, and then this icon. So this is coming along. This is a pretty quick stitch, but it also is a little bit, I don't want to say it's boring because I like it, but it gets a little tedious. So I can't work on it, you know, this is not a project that I'm gonna work on, you know, several nights in a row and that kind of thing. Oh, another thing about the little bags is sometimes I leave my needle, I just leave it on the needle minder because I fold it up and it's fine. But I started, you can use this little bag as a needle keep too, because the lining fabric doesn't have anything attached to it. The outside fabric has fusible fleece fused to it, but the lining fabric doesn't, so you can just put your needle right through that fabric and it'll keep it nice. Okay, so that's all of my projects for this week. And so on the 24 hours of cross stitch, I don't know if I'm doing this correctly, if this is a cheaty way to do it or whatever, but what I did is instead of filling all of these things out prior to work and then having to work towards this, I did the work I was going to do and then I put it in here to fit. So I still have to do the short SHORTE, but for R, I worked on the Lavender Roses. So that was 480 minutes at least because I worked 8 hours on that at least. And I did over 500 stitches, which doesn't seem like very much, but they're so confetti heavy on these things. And most of my time I think is taken with having to get a new thread. Like when I run out of a thread and having to search through the 190 colors or whatever it is to find the right floss and thread that needle and everything. So that's what takes so long for me on the Hades. Then for the D, I worked on the Pooh balloon. I did at least 500 stitches on that. And that was a project for my dad, so that's for D. The A in A's is the In This House that I'm doing for my brother Aaron. And I did work on that for 2 hours at a sitting. The Y, I've got pumpkin patch with the yellow pumpkin. And I finished the yellow pumpkin. I did at least 400 stitches on that this week. And then the S, I had the Froth and Bubble Long Dog Sal. And I did approximately 400 stitches on that as well. So that's how I'm working on the acrostic. And so it's kind of like just playing, you know, doing like a fun game with myself with the stitching that I'm doing. Let's see. Okay, so next haul, plans, that kind of thing. Oh, I forgot to show you these. I got these last week when I went to Joann's, and is there a price on here? No, they were just a couple dollars. They're these like tags. I didn't even realize when I bought them. They say they're cross stitch bookmarks. and they showed them, you know, completely filled in, but I don't know that you necessarily need to. So I got just this plain square ones, and then I got these sort of curvy scalloped ones. And I didn't even realize that there's 3 colors. So the white's on the top, but there's also, I don't know if you can see, there's kind of like a tan color and then black. So there's 3 or 4 of each one. Yeah. And I think they had other ones as well. They have like, they come with little patterns and stuff. But I did do one of these, and I did a It's You I Like on it, which didn't totally fit. So I kind of did it in 2 layers. It came out okay. But I think these are really cute, and they're a fun thing for a quick gift, or, you know, if you just feel like stitching a little pattern. I don't know, I thought they were fun. And they're like perforated paper. So I got those at Joann Fabrics. I ordered this a couple weeks ago off of eBay. I paid like $3 for it. You can still get this on 123stitch, so I know it's not out of print or anything. It's still available, but I just happened to get it on eBay for a good price. And it's graphic arts, personally yours, and it's just all these little peoples doing different things. I don't actually love this pattern. The reason I got it, this is the only thing that I could find that had anything to do with cheerleading. There's like a little cheerleader here. And my niece is very into cheering, and I thought if I ever want to do something for the kids, that might be something good for her. And this is the only thing that I could find that had anything to do with cheerleading. So I thought it was a good thing to have. Just in case I want to use it in the future. And then I got 2 patterns that I ordered in the last couple weeks. They came in, both by Brenda Gervais, with by Needle and Thread. So the old one is the Spring Fling. Everybody's getting that aftermarket. And I think this is totally cute, but I wasn't all that like inspired to get it until Gone Batty came out, and I love this one, and then I wanted this one as like a switch out piece. So however I do these, then however I frame it or display it, I'll do something that I can switch out between the seasons, the fall and the spring. I know that there's a winter snowman, I think that is in the similar vein, which I probably wouldn't get. I mean, I live in California. I don't live anywhere near snow. Snowmen don't mean really anything to me, so I am never interested in getting them. But I love the cat, and the bunny rabbit's really cute too. And I love little flowers, and I love that they both have little companions, this birds and these the bats. So and then I did a little Etsy shopping because I wanted to try some even weave fabrics, as we know, and I got these 2 pieces from an Etsy shop. She didn't have very much fabric, so I think I got these last 2 pieces. They're both even weave. It doesn't say if it's Lugana or what the fabric count is or anything, but they're both a 28 count even weave. And I was trying to purchase enough to get excuse me, to get free shipping. So I got these 2 mini needle minders, an elephant and a little cat, and then this came free with my initial. So those are great. And okay, I think that's it. Plans that I have going forward is just to continue working on the stuff that I've showed you. Maybe make a couple more project bags that I can show next week. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. And then I was watching Beautiful Clarity, and she is going to do a birthday sale in October, which I think I'm going to join in on with a little project. Her only requirements for her birthday sale are that it not be anything fall related or Halloween related. She doesn't like those, even though her birthday's in October. So I think I might chart my own little chart with my closing tagline on it, and then I can put it on my my desk here and display it so maybe you guys can see it while I'm doing my videos. But that's really the only, you know, plans I have coming up, except to just keep working on the stuff that I have going. So that brings me to my final little thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, which is kind of weird, and I wonder if anybody else feels this way. I feel like I have to remind myself that doing these things that I'm doing is a worthwhile pursuit, because sometimes I feel like if I'm not doing chores or being at work, anything else I do is like indulgent or lazy, or I don't know, all of this negative self-talk. And I don't want to think that way, because, you know, I don't have other people in my life that I need to take care of at this point in my life. I don't have children. I don't have a husband or a boyfriend that I need to make dinner for or think about or make appointments for or do anything else for. It's just me. And I kind of feel like doing all this craft stuff is really my true purpose, my, you know, the why are you here. It's not to go to my job. I mean, my job is important, but that's not what brings me joy. That's what brings me money so that I can pay rent and eat. What brings me joy is doing this. And I have to remind myself that doing cross stitch, doing arts and crafts, doing anything that's bringing beauty to the world, to my world, whether anybody else sees it or not, is a worthwhile pursuit. And I don't know, does anybody else feel like that? Like that they have to apologize to the world or to, I don't know, to somebody else for doing things that bring them joy. I have to not feel that way. I have to not feel like I'm being lazy because I'm spending my evening cross stitching. Because what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to run around and scrub my apartment. I mean, I'm the only one here. If I don't care if it's not scrubbed, then what difference does it make? You know, whereas doing the cross stitch is bringing me joy. So I have to remember that. And yeah, I wonder if anybody else feels that way or if I'm alone in that. Because we should be doing things that bring us joy. And obviously, if you have children and significant others and people that you have obligations to, of course, that matters, and doing things for those people should bring you joy. But if you don't, or if you've done all that, then bringing joy for yourself is important too, right? Anyway, on that note, I'm going to let you guys go for this week, and you know, hope you guys have a great week, stitchy or otherwise. Always remember, in the meantime, to always be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Carla, and my channel is Carla Being Crafty, and I hope you guys have a great week. Bye-bye.